Welcome back here to FNR Football Nation Radio's live Saturday afternoon coverage of NPL 3 here at Epping Stadium. It is Melbourne Victory up against the Geelong Soccer Club. Apologies for the technical difficulties that we were suffering. We did endeavour to bring a radio call, but we now do, as we understand, have live pictures and vision coming through. It is still 0-0. You haven't missed anything of great importance just yet here at Epping Stadium. Sides have traded a few shots here and there, but nothing of real consequence. Binyam Kebede's opening strike at the near post that nearly got the better of Kieran McDowell, the only chance of significant note. Today's broadcast is being brought to you, of course, by Melbourne Victory and DKP & Co. Chartered Accountants. And let us know in the comment section where you're coming from, what your thoughts are on the game. Of course, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Victory looking to stretch their unbeaten run out to 9 games today. They take on a Geelong side who have been in pretty decent form themselves, sitting in 5th place at the moment, unbeaten in their last 3. In fact, they've won all last 3 of their games, so they represent a very stern test for the Victory home side, especially considering the difficulties they had last week against North Sunshine Eagles. But it's been a bit of a ding-dong battle so far, to be honest with you. Not many clear-cut chances, but certainly plenty of shots on goal traded either way. And we might see one here through veteran Stojanovic. Good sliding challenge from Jackson Lino, and that corner ball for Geelong Soccer Club gives me a perfect opportunity to bring in my co-commentator and fixer extraordinaire, collector of important cables and all that sort of thing, Pakua Frimpong. Welcome. It's a beautiful day for football here at Epping Stadium. We've got a pretty tight contest so far.
Yeah, it is, Lockie. It's good to be here and to enjoy some nice football. The sun's shining on us, which I'm enjoying. So, hopefully we get a few goals. That's all we like.
Absolutely is, and it is Geelong looking to break the goalless situation. The header on goal coming through that time from Kaman Mayom. Wide of the goal. It was a teasing delivery in from Jaden Iliovsky. Certainly the right winger for Geelong, one to watch out for today. Scored a 85th minute winner last week in Geelong's 2-1 win over Doveton. And, actually, the man he crossed it into, Kaman Mayom, actually scored a winner of his own a few weeks earlier. So they're a good late game team, Geelong Soccer Club, and they're in some good form. 3 in their last 3. A victory, a very stern test for them today. It's Casper Hallam on the Victory right, inside for Wilson. Bello trying to poke it forward, and Iliovsky, the outstretched leg to control, and Menelau mopping up the scraps. A few notable absentees for Melbourne Victory today, not least their goalkeeper, Marko Bulic, is unavailable today with first-team considerations. Of course, Melbourne Victory playing the second leg of their semi-final against Western United later today, which means there's also no Birkin Kurdar and Leighton Brooks. I dare say last week against North Sunshine Eagles, Leighton Brooks, his absence was felt on the day. And no Luca Persho as well, a hamstring injury for him. So there have been quite a few changes to the Victory lineup.
Absolutely, Lockie. But, still a quality side, and I'm sure they can put into decent performance. And, hopefully it can be 2 wins for Victory today, Maybe they get the win, at Amy today.
Yeah, well, I'm sure many of our watchers on, who I'm sure many of them watching on the stream will be hoping for a 6-point Saturday. We'll see if we can bring that into fruition, but it remains to be seen. Although Victory have got a good chance here. It was attacking chances, something that was at a premium for them last week in the 0-0 draw against North Sunshine Eagles. I was at that game, and I think there was a sum total of 3 shots on target. I dare say that this game has already cleared that mark. We may yet to look and add another to the tally. Will Wilson and James Paneras standing over the dead ball. It'll be Will Wilson to hit with the right, and it's curved with some real venom. McDowell able to get 2 palms behind it, but that really had some serious whip.
It wasn't that convincing of a save from him. He was kind of lucky that, he had his defenders around him to get rid of that ball, but I think if Victory were a little bit more alert, they potentially could have had a second chance opportunity there.
Well, Victory, honestly, maybe that little half chance on goal from Will Wilson might spark them into something greater. They've been on the back foot in the last 5 minutes or so, and there's an opening here on the attacking right. It's Iliovsky bearing down on goal, trying to find the gap at the near post, but it's a fine save from Christian Siciliano down to his left. Victory, they were nearly caught napping there.
Absolutely, but, goalkeeper read that really well and, went down, and it's good to get it out, to a corner as opposed to, giving Victory a second chance Geelong a second chance opportunity.
Yeah, it is a corner conceded, but as you very rightly point out, Pakua Frimpong, it could have been a heck of a lot worse for Victory. Now, they went close from the previous corner. It'll be Iliovsky again to deliver. It's a bit more of a floated delivery. The header is up at the back post, and the ball is in the back of the net, but not before today's referee, Mark Tito, blows for an infringement. I can't say I saw too much of a said infringement into the sun, but he probably was in a better position, the referee, or at least you'd hope.
You'd hope so.
Certainly
You'd
hope.
really, really hope so.
Lino. Sauntering his way up the field and distributing to Paneras. Clipped ball in behind, searching for Kibete, and McDowell always off his line.
I think Victory have got to be a little bit more patient with their build-up and try to, probably reduce those balls over and, just play on the ground a little bit and work Geelong and just get some control of the possession. That probably put them in some good stead if they're, trying to build some momentum.
Absolutely. Look, they are a very transitional team and one of the best teams at counter-attacking in the league at an A-League men's level, but certainly this Melbourne Victory side under Joe Palacides, they've got plenty of that transitional ability, but they're pretty good with the ball at feet, so sort of hoping, given the difficulties they had with that last week, they can find a bit more of that attacking verve and vigour, playing the ball in between the lines as opposed to knocking it over the top of them. Speaking of balls over the top, that one's searching for the overlapping run of Marvin Brauweiler. Not to be on that occasion, and Siciliano fizzes that one out quite nicely.
I do have to say, Lockie, one of my favourite things is watching goalkeepers, do a little bit of their theatrics when they've got the ball in hand.
Certainly displayed some. Speaking of theatrics, Binyam Kibete's cross into the middle, blocked for a Victory throw. So we really start to move into the thick of this first half. No goals just yet, but certainly promising a lot. Paneras riding the challenge of Masahiro Mitsuda. And you could hear the little laugh at the attempt from Jimmy Paneras to hit the turf and win himself a free kick.
I think that's got to be the best theatrics we've seen so far in the day. He gets a 10 from me for that one. It's very nice.
I mean, we haven't seen too much in the way of theatrical diving performances today, so he's running against a pretty short field, but leading nevertheless. Well, that's a nice ball from Menelau. Unfortunately for him, Liam O'Connell will get there first. And quick to whistle, Mark Tito. Ball in the middle for Jay Barnett. Now, I wonder how you'd be feeling if you were Jay Barnett, because he was, or has been a player rather, that's been featuring in that senior setup fairly regularly over the course of the season. And on the day where his side is getting set to play the semi-final, the likes of Burke and Curda and Leighton Brooks out of this side with senior considerations, and he is not. Where would your head be at if you're a player who's been involved at that level but is overlooked in this sort of crucial moment?
I think you'd be frustrated, definitely. You know, you've showed, if you've showed those performances that you're capable of that, of course you'd be frustrated. But I think for young players it's really important that they use that as motivation to make it harder, for the manager and the coach to say, no, we can't leave him out of the side, but shows there's areas of, take it as a positive, there's areas to grow in and to become the best player you want to be. But, even having those opportunities is always a great thing.
Well, it's a weird one because Barnett clearly has been the one, for the most part from this side, entrusted with opportunities. As forward comes veteran Stojanovic. He's got Victory players coming across the check inside, and now the shot is right down the breadbasket of Christian Siciliano. A big chance going begging for Geelong Soccer Club's number 9.
Unlike Liam O'Connell, who read that ball really, really nicely when Victory tried to come through, the Victory defence just caught, napping for a second till his eye off the ball, it seemed.
And we've seen that a few times today. Those floated balls over the top, one that fell through that gave a one-on-one chance to Jaden Iliovsky before, and then that one for veteran Stojanovic, who's in the last few weeks hasn't been wasting a lot of those chances. He does have 3 goals in the last 2 games. That's all 3 of his goals for the season, I might add. But yeah, not a player you can afford to give those sort of opportunities to.
I think he might have hit the brakes a little bit too hard and caught himself off and didn't get a chance to really hit through that ball.
Well, it was interesting, wasn't it? Because it almost seemed like he did made the hard part, which was sort of to dribble round a Victory defender and get the little, body feint inside. He did that quite well.
Yeah.
But the sort of easy part, easier part, I guess, nothing's easy trying to beat a keeper. But to roll it into the bottom corner, just seemed to completely mess it up, as that's a beautiful ball forward. Binyam Kebede, the chance to find the gap at the near post. He just completely messed that up, Pakua.
2 key strikers, seemingly lost their way, but a good opportunity, showing that Victory, they're building a little bit, and, they are getting caught off the counter, but when they are going up front, they are looking a little bit more dangerous at times. They've just got to find a way to get that ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, well, Binyam Kebede, I got to say, watching that chance back, it's been quite a while since his last goal. It's 5 games and counting since his last. He is still the leading scorer for Victory with 3 for the season. But yeah, it has been quite a while between drinks, and I just wonder if maybe with that chance we saw a little bit of that, maybe the yips that are currently plaguing him at the moment.
Absolutely, I think key strikers, the longer the wait between goals, the more tense they become, and sometimes something that's really instinctual becomes really, really like a foreign language to them, and they've got to really relearn that habit by the simple things.
Here's another chance for Kebede, and a corner ball is awarded, so that must have been a fingertip save, and a very good one from Kieran McDowell. Almost spent too much time talking about his finishing troubles at the moment. He nearly caught us absolutely square then, Binyam Kebede.
Absolutely, out of nowhere, really. He created that chance on his own, and beautiful strike in the end, and taking a really big save from the keeper there.
Yeah, Kieran McDowell showing his experience, the former Moreland City man, to get that fingertip save. It may well have gone off the crossbar if it hadn't have gone through, but we'll never know. Paneras, the ball sent flat, cleared at the near post by Stojanovic. And Jimmy Paneras happy to let that roll out for a Victory throw. There's a foul in the middle here. Going the way of Melbourne Victory, is it?
Oh,
Ooh.
a little tussle over.
I've got a bit of a flashpoint. Wilson involved. And Masahiro Mitsuda. And it's truly kicking off here between Wilson and Ibrahim Mohammed. And Will Wilson is being hauled away by Ryan Lethlean. And this is getting ugly. Look, we've got a semi-final later today, Pakua. Don't make headlines, fellas. Don't make headlines. It was definitely Wilson and Ibrahim Mohammed involved. And now Mark Tito has got some chatting to do with his linesman to work out what to do here, because there was, as the Geelong fans near us are pointing out, a pretty obvious shove from Will Wilson, and that seemed to boil everything over.
Absolutely, it was certainly a shove, but I don't know if it warranted all the things after it. It was, you know, definitely unnecessary. It came out of nowhere, but I don't think it's warrant of a red card, maybe a yellow. But I think, you know, everyone's getting a little bit hot under this sun in Epping today.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a rare occasion, the sun at the moment, and now across marches Mark Tito to chat with his other linesman, who might well have had a better view of the situation, particularly with Will Wilson. Look, I don't think there's going to be a red card coming out here, but look, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm going to be honest, Lockie. Fans keep saying 13, we see it, but I don't know what they've seen. I think somebody needs to explain it to me, you know. Get a little bit more descriptive about it, because I feel like it was just a simple push. It was just unnecessary.
Okay, Mark Tito is now calling Will Wilson over. And Jackson Leno as well, from the look of things.
Yeah, I think for that second little, you know.
Okay, so
Yellow, yeah.
3 cards dished out. 2 to Melbourne Victory players, so Will Wilson and Jackson Leno going into the book. And then, at this pace, I think it's Ibrahim Mohammed, who's also joined those two in the referee's book. Trying to make sense of that. There was the initial shove from Wilson.
Yep.
Then that caused the sort of afters that we saw between Mohammed and Will Wilson.
Absolutely.
And then that was when Jackson Leno stepped in to sort of enter the fray.
But I think, you know, Wilson's frustration's coming because he hasn't really affected the game in any way. And I think sometimes, as for players, when they're not really in the game and they're not getting the way in which they're not being themselves on the football field, they can get a little distracted and engage in things they probably shouldn't.
Well, the irony of it all is that 2 Victory players have gone into the book for what happened after the initial foul. And yet it is still a Victory free kick after all the frackers simmer down. Victory have the dead ball opportunity.
Absolutely. It would sting, so you know, for Geelong if Victory managed to score a goal here after all that. I think they'd be having a few words with the referee.
Well, given the boiling over of emotions, Victory would love to score from the resultant set piece. It was searching for Will Wilson. Mitsuda, unconvincing header, but it does enough to get it forward to Ilyovsky. And a nice pass to generate some safety for Victory from Jay Barnett. Menelau. Paneris. Barnett with time and space as he comes through the middle third of the park. Geelong have gotten set into their 4-4-2 shape very quickly. The early ball from Leno bouncing on the edge of the area. It'll fall out. Binyam Kabete thought about the initial strike. Now Bello. Ball flat. And Geelong do just about enough. Mohammed. That's a searching ball for Stojanovic, and it might just sit up for him, you know. He's got Jackson Leno to attack. He struggled with the final finish last time, and now checking inside, Stojanovic. And Siciliano makes the save at the near post. But it's 3 times now we've seen those balls over the top just really catch out the Victory backline.
Absolutely. I think they're maybe potentially holding too high of a line, and with the backline that's at times looking a little bit slow. I don't know if that's really the game plan they want to go with for the remainder of the game. Maybe some halftime adjustments, but they have looked slow to catch up after, that ball over the top, and they probably need some big changes, and goalkeeper's keeping him in it.
Another delivery for Geelong, and Siciliano's missed it, cleared off the line by Casper Hallam. Only as far as Mitsuda. Try and recycle the ball into the area. Mayom trying to hit on the half volley. Not quite the Hollywood goal that he would have hoped for by any stretch.
No, absolutely not. But going back to that attempt.
Ooh, bouncing ball. Siciliano had to be perfect and was. He had the advancing Geelong attackers coming at him from either side. Jacob Krajicic, the towering centre-back, being chief amongst them. Mitsuda. Mohammed. Outside of the foot pass in search of Marvin Brauweiler, who we're seeing play a very advanced position today, the German. That's a poor ball from Mitsuda. Capable of playing as a right back and a midfielder, and it's a position we've seen him a number of times this season, but seems to be sort of playing alongside Vedran Stojanovic. It's Jacob Butler, the player manager for Geelong, on the ball. Here he is again, the New Zealand international. He's given one for Stojanovic to chase. Aaron Anderson and Siciliano doing enough to evade the pressure of a very easy to pick out of a crowd, Vedran Stojanovic.
Absolutely. Couldn't miss him. But once again, Victory are looking a little bit slower. They got away with that one, but I think something they really, really need to look at, and putting themselves in situations where maybe they have a second player coming in to help them out. So it's not a one-on-one situation as we've seen a few times this half.
Ooh, outstretched leg from Mohammed. Barnett going in for the 50-50 with Brauweiler. It's the boys in blue who come away with it. Paneras. He's got Hallam making the run in behind. Will it sit up for Paneras? It does. Floated ball. Oh, hits the roof of the net. That was in no man's land for a bit of time there.
The sun had me thinking it was in, but
I got to say that the perspective of that was making me a little bit nervous as well, I must say.
Goalkeeper had it in his sights the whole time, and he looked very relaxed and very calm.
Ball up in the air. Brought down by Stojanovic. Trying to get it across to Ilioski. Geelong want the ball pulled back. Lino under a bit of pressure. Certainly has a lot of energy, even if it doesn't have goals so far this game. And here's Bello coming forward. Hallam. Returning the favour to Wilson. The cutback, it's a lie for Bello, who outstretches his leg. But Krajicic is able to get it away. So we're getting towards the end of the first half here. Without having any goals to bring to you, certainly had plenty of entertainment value for the neutral. It's very delicately poised. I must say it almost mirrors shades of the game last week against North Sunshine Eagles. Probably chances at more of a premium in that game, but definitely very, very tense, and a real sort of underlying tension and aggression between the two sides that we've seen spill over once today. Bouncing ball is controlled by Mitsuda. Quite a few options in the penalty area. The cross is a poor one, and Siciliano saw it all the way.
But dude, going back to what you said, Lockie, I definitely agree. I feel like this game, as soon as we get one goal, it's going to be a flood. It's going to open up a little bit more, and I think both teams are just playing a little bit reserved in a way. Like they're wanting to, do a little bit more, but they're, struggling to, execute those basic things to allow them to, execute their game plan.
Yeah, Mitsuda did not use the hand to control there, but he's temporarily had his pocket picked by James Pineris. He was able to win it back, though. And McDowell launching up the line, and Vedran Stojanovic more than happy to watch that one float over the top of his head. Mayom's ball forward. Oh, a great one in search of Marvin Brauweiler. And that is the halftime whistle. Here at Epping Stadium, we are deadlocked at 0-0 after 45 minutes. It's been an interesting game to make heads or tails of. It's been fiery, that's for absolute certain, Pakua. We've had chances traded by either side, some solid saves from Siciliano off the likes of Jaden Ilyovski and Vedran Stojanovic. Binyam Kabete going the closest on 2 occasions, forcing fingertip saves from Kieran McDowell on the victory end, but it's been a really even seesawing contest, which I dare say Pakua Frimpong is delicately poised for an entertaining second 45.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm excited to see. I think we're going to see some adjustments and probably see the game open up a little bit more, the closer we get to the finish line. But both teams have been exciting and showed glimpses of what their real football, and hopefully we should see that in the second half.
Well, a victory, if this result did hold for another half, would maintain their undefeated streak, but it's all about getting into those top 2 places, and a draw is not going to be enough with Preston Lions currently taking on Ballarat. So they need a win. Geelong Soccer Club so far this season haven't had a draw, so all of that evidence is enough for me to commit to the idea that we are going to see one side come out on top on the second 45. But who it will be, well, we'll answer that question on the other side of this break here on FNR Football Nation Radio at halftime, brought to you by DKP & Co Chartered Accountants. It is Melbourne Victory Youth 0, Geelong Soccer Club 0. We'll see you in 15 minutes' time for the second half.
very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are
Welcome back here to the second 45 minutes of action at Epping Stadium. We're currently deadlocked at 0-0 between Melbourne Victory FC and the Geelong Soccer Club, coming to you from FNR Football Nation Radio. Today's live stream being brought to you by DKP & Co Chartered Accountants. Lockie Flanagan and Pakua Frimpong here with you for the second 45 minutes of action. And Pakua, we saw a promising first 45. We think this second is about to kick off. We already have it in literal terms, but I mean in figurative terms. This game is set to kick off. It's a powder keg, is what it is.
I like these words that you're using, Lockie. Some, they're not part of my vocab, but I like them. They work for you. And seen an early sub at half time with Will Wilson going off and Anthony Leban.
Anthony Leban coming onto the field. Good job from eagle-eyed Pakua Frimpong spotting that halftime change. We did wonder if there might be one, and Will Wilson, who had some yellow card trouble in the first half, and now Victory. Siciliano's missed it, and Brauweiler at the near post. His header must have come off a Victory defender, so Geelong will get another early corner. But yes, Victory the only side to have enacted a change on the sub board so far.
And I think of the two teams, they were probably the team that needed to make a change the most. They have more to play for at this current stage, and they were to be a little bit more creative.
Mohammed controlling well, and how's the delivery? Good clearing header from Zayden Bello. And Jaden Paneris needs a runner ahead of him. He's got Casper Hallam in behind. And the reverse pass does come. McDowell's off his line. Hallam isn't able to get there first. And Kieran McDowell clears the ball out of danger for Geelong. We've got the company of the effects microphone as well. I'm sure you can hear that coming through. Certainly makes a big difference to the insight you get out on the field. It is a delicately poised game of football. The ball in behind for Stojanovic is offline. We're still early into the second half here at Epping Stadium, about 48 minutes played by our clock. It is a beautiful, beautiful day for football, and we'll endeavour to, if we can find any NPL 3 scorelines from around the ground, we'll try and bring them to you as best we possibly can. Here is the halftime sub, Anthony Laban. Hallam. Ball in behind. A nice looking one for Zayden Bello. And those two can link up. Still with Hallam and eventually knocking away Liam O'Connell. Only as far as Laban. Bearing towards the touchline, Laban, and Ibrahim Mohammed saw the cutback all the way. Up the line for Brauweiler. There's a nice play down the flank. It's Jacob Butler. Brauweiler, decent play from Geelong Soccer Club in transition. The bouncing ball, will it sit for Mitsuda? The answer, yes. Hesitating for a moment. Now Stojanovic with time and space. Nearly showed a little bit too much of it to Paneris. And Victory win back possession through the aforementioned Paneris. Of course, if you've got any questions about the opening 45, about the substitutions, benches, anything like that, do keep your comments coming through on the Facebook, the Twitter, the YouTube, wherever you may be watching. And a warm welcome to all of you. Any questions you may have, let them come through. As forward comes veteran Stojanovic, riding a couple of challenges from Aaron Anderson. And now out to Iliovski. Mitsuda. Geelong working the triangle down the right. The ball in, inviting one. It'll sit up for Brauweiler eventually. He's got the support of Mayom. And that is where the ball heads. Kaman Mayom. Right-footed delivery. Knocked away by Barnett. Geelong hemming in Melbourne Victory at the present moment. Mitsuda crossing with the left. Will it fall down to Mayom? The first time ball. It's laid back for Butler, but he won't get the chance to strike on goal. Pakua Frimpong. Mayom flagged offside. Unfortunately, sir, that was a good few minutes for Geelong. They've started this second half very brightly indeed.
Absolutely, and I think this game is there, to take and to get a win out of it. And that was good, building some momentum early and really putting Victory under pressure, because they're the ones who the pressure's on to win this game and, assert their dominance further in this league.
Yeah, well, and the danger is, as well, as we see Geelong pick up the ball in possession, it's Stojanovic streaming down the right-hand side. James Paneris, the only defensive company he's got at the moment. One way, then the other from Stojanovic, wanting to launch the ball, but it will deflect out. And not quite for a Geelong corner, but a throw in deep attacking territory. Yeah, the danger is for Melbourne Victory that if Geelong are able to nick a goal, grab 3 points, these two sides could find themselves level at the end of the weekend. Victory have got the superior goal difference. But, yeah, 5-3-1 and 6-0-4 would have them level on points, even though one of those records with one loss sound a lot better than the other.
Absolutely, and you wouldn't have thought it, starting of this weekend, but, in football, things you never know. Things change really quickly, and it's why we love it.
Well, the thing is, Geelong, of course, still plenty of time to play in this second 45. Geelong over the stretch in the NPL era have been a bit of a bogey side for Victory. They've actually never won in NPL 2 West or NPL 3, in which they currently sit, in any of their 3 previous meetings. So 2 draws and 1 3-0 win back in 2019 for Geelong Soccer Club. So they haven't tasted the sweet feeling of victory against this particular opponent before, have Melbourne Victory.
Just quite surprising, but it shows that when Geelong are playing these kinds of sides, they really step up and they make it really difficult for them, and show a little bit of quality and force their opponents, force Victory to play at a high standard, and sometimes they're just incapable of doing that.
Yeah, well, they're having to defend another wave of attacking pressure from Geelong. Krajicic was moving for it. Siciliano able to collect first and distributing quickly. That is just a perfectly placed ball for Binyam Kibede. He's flicked around one, trying to wheel and go. Just got the ball lost underneath his feet, Binyam Kibede. Looked so promising when he initially brought it down, but it came to naught. Poor ball, first time from Stojanovic.
I will say that Siciliano has really impressed me today with his saves, and he's been really alert. And when the ball's, been there to catch, he's been ready, and his distribution as well has been excellent. Sometimes we don't like to give goalkeepers enough credit, but he's been really good today.
And he's had to jostle this season for that starting Victory youth keeper spot with Marco Bullets. Of course, the number 20, my usual number 20 for Victory Reserves, has had senior team considerations over the course of the year, which is why he's absent today, as the ball in floated from Hallam straight out for a Geelong Soccer Club goal kick.
I've got to ask you, Lockie, who do you think's for Victory, who do they think they need to unlock to really open this game up and get themselves those 3 points?
It's a good question, Pikoa, because I think the last 2 weeks since the Ballarat City game, which they won 6-0 last time out at Epping Stadium, the 0-0 draw against North Sunshine Eagles, and currently 0-0 at the moment against Geelong. The one key difference, I think it's less about who's on the pitch and more about who's not, because without Leighton Brooks in this side, it just seems as though that attacking front three, the triumvirate, has just lacked a bit of cut and thrust. I think if there is a player who is most likely to replicate that sort of thing, it's James Paneras. I think he was probably best of the Victory attackers last week in a game where I would say that both Binyam Kibede and Casper Hallam quite struggled against the physicality of North Sunshine. So my eyes will be firmly on James Paneras to see whether or not he can sort of live up, or even half live up to the hype and the prowess that Leighton Brooks has shown in his occasional games in the Victory youth side.
Yeah,
because without him, they've just looked a different team the last couple of weeks.
I have to agree with that. You weren't there, Lockie, but it's also again an opportunity for these players, who are playing in this youth setup to, make it hard for the managers again to say these guys, we really got to look out for them. They're great footballers. They really provide something different to players we do have.
And here is the man of the moment, Paneras, suffering the commentator's curse, turning it over immediately, but it's still a Victory ball. Bello, stood up by Mayom, picking up the pieces, Jay Barnett. Driving towards the line, it's Casper Hallam across the face of goal. The first time shot is blocked. It's still alive for Menalao. And the penalty kick is given to Melbourne Victory. Much to the chagrin of the Geelong Soccer Club defenders. But it was a quick whistle.
I think it was there.
From Mark Tito.
It was there. It was quite clumsy from the Geelong defence there. They didn't clear that ball out, and they gave him a second opportunity, and, they had to pay for it, but Victory still has to put it in the back of the net.
Well, this is a absolute golden chance that's been handed to Melbourne Victory, because by and large in this first 10 to 15 minutes we've seen of the second 45, Geelong Soccer Club have really been in control. They've been probably the better of the two, had more of the chances, and they're just their own worst enemy, giving away that penalty on the needless second effort. It wasn't necessarily a sliding challenge that needed to be made. And now this is a golden chance in particular for Binyam Kibede, who fancies himself from 12 yards. As we've said, he's goalless in his last 5 games. It's been over a month since his brace against Springvale White Eagles, but a chance to break the deadlock for him and for his Victory side. It's Binyam Kibede, and he slots it into the right-hand corner, giving Kieran McDowell a piece of his mind, and it's somewhat fortuitous, but Victory have the lead against Geelong Soccer Club, and it's Binyam Kibede who breaks his duck. It's been a month without a goal for him. It hasn't been easy, but I'm sure that one, even though it was from the spot kick, will taste very, very sweet indeed.
Absolutely. I think those kinds of goals are really important for strikers when they aren't in, amazing goal-scoring form. They haven't scored in a while. Just those simple ones, just to get them started and build a little bit of momentum, and maybe 1 goal turns into 2, turns into 3. You never know, just from those simple penalties.
It's a confidence booster is what it is. You almost sort of, when you're in the goal-scoring or difficult run of goal-scoring or lack thereof form that Binyam Kibede is, something like that is almost what you need, like a tap-in or a penalty kick. And so Joe Palacides will be hoping that can spur Binyam Kibede back on to bigger and better things with more regular goal scoring. In the meantime, Victory have made a change. It was Kasper Hallam who departed the field of play for Artem Duratovic. Artem Duratovic, no stranger to the Geelong Soccer Club. He was the scorer of the opening goal last time these two sides met in 2021, round 6. It was a 1-1 draw on that day.
What do you make of that substitution, Lockie? It's kind of a like-for-like, in a way, sub?
I actually have to disagree with you on that front, Bakura. I think Kasper Hallam is more of a kind of dynamic, wide player. Artem Duratovic is a bit more of a physical line leader. So I think we might see that force a reshuffle for Victory as well. Maybe Binyam Kibede coming out wide and Duratovic going through the middle. You could well be right. We might see a surprise thrown up from Joe Palacides.
Okay.
It's Mayom
I love a bit of surprises. Come on, Lockie.
on Geelong's left. The cross is spilled by Siciliano, but he's able to mop up and keep it out of the advances of Jakub Krajicic. Yeah, that would have been a real, if you're in the mind of Geelong Soccer Club and player coach Jake Butler, that would have been a real sucker punch. With the better side, but find themselves behind and defending to do. James Panaris, great use of the body from Masahiro Mitsuda. And Mark Tito awards the free kick in favour of the Japanese fullback. It was just a textbook use of the body from Geelong's number 4.
Absolutely, and he got the free kick, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, isn't it, Lockie?
Absolutely. Could have been a lot worse. Having James Panaris bearing down on goal. Down goes Kaman Mayom. And a quick whistle from Mark Tito. Spraying ball over the top. Siciliano's come off his line, and I wouldn't say a miscommunication between him and Zayden Bello, but clearly not on exactly the same wavelength.
It looks a little bit awkward.
It was just a bit off, wasn't it? There was something strange about that. And it's given...
It was just created an unnecessary situation, ultimately, though.
Indeed it did. And it's given Geelong Soccer Club the chance to take this long throw. We've got 61 minutes played, and the throw does come in. Siciliano punching away unconvincingly. Recycled by Geelong. Mayom was rising, and it spills out for Iliovsky at the back post. Left lean clearing away. Duratovic nearly seized upon the loose ball. And now Franco Lino. In fact, it's Jackson Lino. A nice ball into space for Jimmy Panaris. And that's a great ball in behind for Menelau. It just had a little bit too much heat on it for the Victory number 10. And Kieran McDowell quick off his line to clear away.
But the right idea there. And ever since that goal, they're getting into it, and they're Geelong having to create more, so they're leaving a little bit of gaps behind them. So I think it's going to open a little bit more up for Victory as the game goes on.
left lean. Might have to see if we can head around the grounds, reach out to our contacts at Preston Lions. They'll be in the 23rd minute over at Moorshead Park, playing Ballarat City. They'll fancy themselves of a win, but if they can't get it, scoreline as it currently stands, Victory would be leapfrogging Preston Lions into second place. And indeed on the live ladder that is the case for the moment. Checking Preston's live score, it is 0-0. Paneris. Kibete. Moving seamlessly inside, evading the challenge of Butler. He's done very well to keep hold of possession, Binyam Kibete. Still going. And now for Doratovic. And Zayden Bello. The little heel chop. Can he get it back onto the left? It's still with Zayden Bello. He goes down, and Mark Tito urges him to get up. And now across the face from Kibete, and the follow-up is poked home by Artem Doratovic. Well, it was helter-skelter in the penalty area, but Melbourne Victory held their nerve, and they've doubled their advantage. A scramble in the box. The initial shot from Kibete sees Artem Doratovic come off the bench and score once again against the Geelong Soccer Club to put this in a real safety buffer zone for Melbourne Victory, you have to expect.
Yeah, that all started from Kibete, that great run to bring it up, and he was weaving in and out, and came up and followed it in. 2-3 chances, 2-3 opportunities, and going at the ball and being persistent. And I think that's what that goal does to you, a player. Gives them a lot of confidence, and Victory get their reward. And I think the coaching staff for Victory must be feeling a little bit pleased with themselves. Having their substitute score a goal and take them a little bit into a comfort zone.
Goal number 3 of the season for Artem Doratovic. And that one will have been extremely pleasing and a real weight off the shoulders for head coach Joe Palatsides. As that ball over the top, brought down, Menelau trying to work wide of McDowell at the near post, hitting the side netting. Kieran McDowell, a corner ball. And it just seems as though it's maybe falling to pieces a little bit here for Geelong Soccer Club. They held their resolve for such a long time in this game, but the penalty given to Melbourne Victory from Alex Menelau and scored by Binyam Kibete just seems as though it's unbundled them.
They just need to, just rein themselves in, just get composed for the next 5-10 minutes and not concede another goal, because 2 goals in football, as we know, it's not that big of a lead. You get one back, and you never know what can happen. You might not get the 3 points, but a point is better than nothing at the end of the day.
Indeed it is. We'll definitely take a point from this game. Geelong, that's for sure. They'll be vulnerable to a few clubs below them, not least North Sunshine Eagles, if this result stays as it is. So we've had a substitution for Geelong Soccer Club. Jake Butler trying to rejig the attacking equation. It's Kaman Mayom whose race is run, and onto the field comes Nathan Tulevsky. I believe it's his first appearance in the senior side for season 2021. There's 1 goal so far in the under-21s.
Be a good way to have your debut if you...
Be an excellent introduction if he can get into the score sheet for Geelong. That needs to happen sooner rather than later, though. There is still 25 minutes left to play. Plenty can happen. But you always want to get that one goal back into the contest at 2-0 as soon as possible.
It's, that one goal, worry and, a little bit of fear creeps into the Victory team's mind, and maybe they slip up in one moment, you can capture an opportunity, and you never know, there's the second goal. But putting pressure on a side sometimes might be it's a little bit better than if you're not able to score instantly.
It's a strong header from Lino. Good defensive work initially from Ryan Lethlean. And on the second occasion, Laban. Wide for Panaris, who we've seen shift across to this right flank. Still alive. Duradovic wheeling around. Menelau poking through. Binyam Kabete. The ball's in the back of the net, but the flag is up for offside. And up go the thumbs up of approval from the Geelong defence, who were very glad that Binyam Kabete was behind the last defender as the ball came through. They thought they'd got their line absolutely perfect, and indeed, in the eyes of the assistant referee, they did.
They had, but Kabete's got, he's feeling himself at the moment. I think he wants to score a hat-trick, Lockie. He's ready for another goal, and I think that's what you want to see from your striker, them being active around the box and showing that they want to score.
Well, it definitely does seem like that goal from the penalty spot has boosted the confidence level somewhat of Binyam Kabete. He scored the goal that broke the deadlock in this game, and then it was his shot that deflected after the save from Kieran McDowell that allowed Artem Duradovic to poke into what was effectively by that point an empty net. So both the goals have been had him heavily involved.
But the goals also, even with that second goal, his run as well to create that. He's not just, trying to score, but he's trying to, pass around and dribble and, show his confidence, show a little bit of flair. And that's what you want to see from a footballer, that they're not just going to stick to one thing. They're going to try different things and, improve those little things game by game.
Duradovic back to goal, back to Zayden Bello. Ooh, nearly risky. Stojanovic was bearing down a goal. We haven't seen as much of Vedran Stojanovic in this second half.
No. And I think it's the change to the midfield at half-time. Victory have looked a lot more dominant. They've got the ball a lot more, so it's been harder for Geelong to get the ball up to their forwards because they just haven't been winning those midfield battles, those first and second attempts.
It's a good observation because I think Anthony Laban has come in and added a little bit more composure and steel to the midfield. There's no doubt that Will Wilson is a very, very good player, but he's very high octane, high energy, and you just wonder in a game like this where in the first 45 it was so sort of energetic that things might even have spilled over into something ugly, whether that's the best situation for him. Siciliano getting the left palm out. Jacob Butler, quick throw to the substitute Talevski. He's let his player coach down a little bit there. It must be a very awkward dynamic to receive a pass from a teammate who is also the person who picks whether or not you make the starting 11 or not.
I was going to ask you this before, like, surely that's got to be the most difficult job that is your role as a player manager. Like, how are you friends with them? Are they? Are you their boss? Or what's the go? Are you able to go out and go karting together, or is it strictly?
That is a question I genuinely cannot answer, and that is probably why I am neither a player nor a manager, or both at the same time.
You're probably right. But
it's just the weirdest part about it is he's not the only player manager even in the NPL 3. Of course, Ballarat City have Michael Trigger as their player manager. Although it didn't work out for them too well against Victory. They lost 6-0 in the last home game here at Epping Stadium. Talevski.
I think also a difficult part of that job would have to be that sometimes even when you are in the field, you might not be able to see those adjustments that, a traditional, manager on the touchline would be able to see, and it might be a little bit harder to create new ideas, Sometimes somebody from a different vantage point was a little bit more beneficial. But
A
Kibede
nice-
again.
Yeah, it was an excellent first-time receive from Binyam Kibede. Now Jimmy Paneras in space. The underlap comes from Jay Barnett, turning on the afterburners. The Victory midfielder. Paneras kind of in a cul-de-sac there. Has to reassess and get himself into a better position. Laban considered the early cross, collects the contact, and does he get the whistle? Pretty sure the answer is yes. It wasn't a loud one, that's for sure, but it is a free kick for Melbourne Victory, from which they could give themselves a chance of putting this result beyond doubt.
I think Telesky would be a little bit disappointed in himself. Victory is so far away from the goal at that point. There's not really any need for that kind of a challenge. You're putting your defence and your team under pressure that's not needed at this time. Just stay on your feet and be composed and just, allow Victory to have the ball, but giving them an opportunity just for the free kick, and nothing really comes of that free kick from Victory. Just couldn't get past the first man.
It's Brauweiler with double coverage from Victory players. He's absolutely scrapping to keep a hold of possession. He's been up and down and up and down, and he's got the ball in between his legs. That was unbelievable stuff from Marvin Brauweiler. It was unorthodox, and much to the chagrin of the Geelong fans, the free kick goes against the German. I think because of the ball trapping between the legs, absolutely. I think does make it an indirect free kick.
That reminded me a little bit of when you see futsal and somebody's got the ball in those little tight spaces and they're just like kicking at the ball and just, hoping they hold on to the ball. But that was a little bit. We need a little bit of theatrics. Like we've only had theatrics in the first half.
Look, I can understand referees. They've got to play by the book. The one that they study every week. But Mark Tito, where's your sense of theatre? That was extremely entertaining. Marvin Brauweiler, the fact that he was able to stick it in between the legs, flick it up out of the legs, and then volley it away. That at some point you just have to accept that play. Absolutely. If you are capable of doing that while on the floor with two Victory players either side of you, play should just be allowed to continue. But anyway, no more thoughts from the neutral observers here at Epping Stadium. A shout out to Tony Domowski, Mitchell Grosdanovsky, and Nick Collins, who are all coming through on the Football Nation Radio live stream, powered by DKP & Co. Chartered Accountants. Make sure you visit the link in the description for all your accounting needs, as Victory are preparing another substitution over on the far side. And in particular, shout out to Tony Domowski, who's gone to the effort of leaving a comment, which you can also do at any time throughout the broadcast. In the remaining 15 minutes, it's not a particularly detailed comment. GSC, which I imagine means Geelong Soccer Club, with 3 strong arm emojis. Great to see you're supporting your club today, Tony. Keep it coming. Need all of that support, Geelong, if they're going to get a result out of this game. They're bringing some pressure at the moment. Barnett. Paneras. First time ball out to Laban. Excellent interplay between those two. Paneras. Outside of the foot pass. Has Binyam Kibede stayed onside? The answer is yes. Now, Kibede advancing. Checking inside. Across for Lino, and the shot dribbles wide of the frame of goal. It never really had the power to look convincing enough to be Victory's third, but it was definitely a distinct opportunity for Victory to try and put the game to bed.
I asked you earlier, Lockie, who was going to change the game for Victory, and you said Paneras, and he certainly has. His last, ever since that first goal, he's, creating magic, and oh my days.
Oh, Siciliano came a long way off his line to thwart the danger.
Is he a bit bored, Lockie? Maybe?
But perhaps. Geelong, since going behind, haven't had a lot to call on in terms of attacking opportunities. I'm not even sure they've tested Siciliano. Binyam Kibede through for Juratovic, trying to exchange the 1-2, and apologies for the expletive from Binyam Kibede that came through in the effects mic, as he wasn't able to latch onto it. Might get another chance, though. Laban down the line. Lino, left-footed ball is over the top of Kibede's head. Though, the Victory attacker will mop up the scraps at the back post. Bello. Trying to free the feet for the left-footed shot.
I was just going to say, I think the Victory strikers, weirdly, they need to be a little bit more selfish. in those opportunities, and not that you don't need to do that extra pass if you've got that clear look. I think they definitely should have at least got a shot on target in that little passage of play before.
Yeah, they're almost trying to walk it in, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Binyam Kibete play it off out wide and try and receive the 1-2. Once he made that little feint inside and had the angle of goal to work with, he would have been completely within his rights to test the keeper.
Definitely. I think something that's really impressed me today is his ability to stop and change directions. Maybe the finishing hasn't been perfect and it's something he's got to work on, but I think that part of his game is really nice, and if he can control the ball at all times, that's a really, a part of his game that he really should use to his advantage as he goes on.
Indeed it is. That nearly spilled for Nathan Talevski. Kibete. Duradovic, excellent touch to wheel free of the defensive attention of Matthew Townley. In fact, it's the substitute, Darcy Anastovsky, and the flag is up, and Duradovic put his follow-up over the crossbar. Very similar haircuts, Adam Duradovic and Darcy Anastovsky, who's just come onto the field of play in place of Alex Menelau.
Do you reckon they go to the same barber, Lockie?
Quite possibly. I wonder if they share the same hobbies outside of football as well, because Darcy Anastovsky is actually a pretty keen DJ outside of football. Operates under the name Anastovsky. That's all caps with 2 eyes on the end as opposed to the one in his legal name. You can check him out on SoundCloud and Spotify. He's I must say, doing my pre-match preparation, quite a lot of streams on the old SoundCloud.
Maybe if it doesn't work as a footballer, we'll see him, touring the world circuit as a DJ.
Maybe. And we've seen a few few footballers in Australia cross over into music, not least Joey Champness, or Joey C, as he's known. Although to be fair, he has now returned back to football and has had a pretty good season in Turkey with Giresunspor, former Newcastle Jets man.
I have to applaud the DJs because it's not a skill that I certainly possess, and I don't think anybody would want to hear that. Their ears might start bleeding, I'm not going to lie.
Very impressive that Darcy Anastovsky can wear both hats. And here he is on the ball. Kibete. Lino hits the turf and will get the decision that he would have liked. Probably relieved to have gotten as well, given there was a space left behind by his advancing run on that right flank for Geelong to potentially attack. But they are thwarted by Mark Tito. Approaching the final 10 minutes of the game here at Epping Stadium, here on the Football Nation Radio Melbourne Victory live stream, brought to you by DKP & Co Chartered Accountants. It does look to be a safe result at the present moment for Victory, but they're searching for a third to put it beyond reasonable doubt. Lino, pocket picked by Jaden Iliovsky. Brauweiler dropping off the front line to receive possession. Excellent ball through to Levski. Just couldn't get the clean contact and the breakthrough past Zayden Bello, the Victory captain, doing an excellent job to get back and win the free kick as well. That's an outstanding job from Zayden Bello.
He did a tremendous job, working him away from the goal and making him feel like he was alone. But I think it was quite disappointing from the Geelong players that nobody really came to give him, some extra support in that moment.
Paneris latching on to Bello's ball in behind, launching the step overs. Decent shape on the delivery. McDowell has missed it. And now Kibete. Anastovsky combining to retain Victory possession. Kibete. Barnett. Anastovsky with the no-touch turn. Patiently playing Victory in front of Geelong's defensive shape. Now trying to pick up the pace. Bello. Cross Anastovsky. Deflects kindly to him. Ball in up rather than away by Jacob Butler. Geelong, they just need to really stick a boot through it. And Mitsuda able to get it out of danger and nearly wheel away into some free space on the right-hand side. back with Mitsuda, Brauweiler and Stojanovic all combining on the far side. You just can't help but wonder if that ball over the top earlier from Marvin Brauweiler did fall a little bit kinder to Nathan Talevski, and he had the chance to attack the goal of Christian Siciliano. Goals change games, and I dare say that one could have given us a very good chance. But hope, at least, that Geelong might be able to catch Victory out on the counter-attack, as the team in navy blue and white are trying to kill the game. Laban. Paneris was making the run in behind. Great use of the body by Bello. One step over and then the pass across. Anastovsky and now Paneris trying to open up the angle for the early shot and the bouncing strike wide of the far post. Kieran McDowell watched it sail wide of the goal frame. But it was a goal that was very much, or a shot, very much reminiscent of a goal that formed one of Leighton Brooks' hat-trick of strikes in the last home game against Ballarat City.
I know
Just
that.
hesitating on the edge of the box before trying to strike into the bottom corner, bottom left corner, I should say.
I know that didn't get on target, but I think that was a really nice, passage of play there, and Bello, doing some captain's work and putting some of the body in there, and it was nice from Victory.
Talevski open again, cutting inside. Talevski with the curler. It's right into the arms of Christian Siciliano. Apologies for the audio blow-up there. That was a good chance for Talevski. Geelong did make, or are about to make, 3 substitutions.
A little bit too late, Lockie, you reckon?
I want to say yes, but I think that the NPL, be it the top division, NPL 2 or NPL 3, it's just an environment where so many crazy things can happen that a triple sub, even with less than 10 minutes remaining, stoppage time notwithstanding, might just be enough to create something crazy. Unless the game can be killed by Anastovsky, the bouncing shot seen all the way by McDowell. Quickly distributed by the veteran keeper. Nice touch out of the air from Brauweiler. He's got Franco Lino, Jackson Lino in fact, with very close company. Franco Lino, his brother, younger brother on the bench.
It's quite strange that this game, for Geelong to maybe get in and get one goal and see what happens, they need a little bit of pace, but they're not typically the fastest side in this competition, and their front line, probably, they might want to add a few, turn up the max speed, but I don't think they don't have that in their pocket at this moment in time.
So we're getting those Geelong substitutes entering the fray now, all 3 of them. Trying to make heads and tails. I think there's too much going on for the 4th official to really get across it. I can see that Alex Stoyanovsky has made his way onto the field. So too Bradley Verol. So that we've got one more. He's definitely out there in the midst. But Stoyanovsky, I should say, not to be confused with veteran Stojanovic, as I just did. Unused sub last week in the win over Doveton, so seeing more minutes than the previous fixture. Although any minutes was always going to be more minutes, but a big chance for him to put himself into more regular, or contention for more minutes. Mitsuda. Ooh, bit of fresh air for Binyam Kibete to go and consider. Nice little touch with the instep from Mitsuda. Stojanovic will apply pressure to Siciliano. No interest in clearing it away, and it might well be to the detriment of the Victory defence. Lino is able to bring it under control and show some composure. Big challenge from Darcy Anastovsky. Laban trying to poke it around Krajicic, but a great covering challenge from the centre-back. Ball in the middle for Jacob Butler. Talk about a captain's goal. I wonder what a manager's goal would do would do to a side. Binyam Kibede riding the touchline and the challenge of Mitsuda. And the open flank to pick out a teammate. The cutback deflecting off a Geelong player, and so a corner ball late into the game for Melbourne Victory.
Don't really know what the Geelong players are complaining about. I thought that was quite clear that it came out off them, but I think when you're down 2-0, anything to take you away from the game, a little bit of complaining will probably likely to happen.
Short for Barnett from Paneris. 1-2 exchange. And again, little game between themselves for James Paneris and Jay Barnett. Eventually Jackson Leno breaks it up, however, because I want to turn as well. Jay Barnett just delaying the attempted quick throw from Marvin Brauweiler. No card coming out. Is he lucky to walk away from that without any penalty, Jay Barnett? Because from my angle, one could make the case that he did definitely stand in front of the German and block the throw. Although we do see that the game was probably going to be stopped for substitutions regardless. Alex Simopoulos entering the field of play, and we've got a Leno for a Leno over in the left full back slot. And Jackson Leno coming off, and his brother Franco Leno is on the field of play. From the look of things, Alex Simopoulos has come on in place of James Paneris. But a good solid 7 out of 10 shift today. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I think that's a fair and accurate assessment of his game.
Mitsuda. Can't find a pass through on that occasion. Left lean picking it up with his long limbs. Transition opening up for Melbourne Victory. It's Franco Leno trying to play it across into the path of Artem Duratovic. And Mitsuda gets the clearing ball away, and now the switch in search of Tulevski. Siciliano chesting it down. He had the arms outstretched, but clearly didn't come off them, and Mark Tito was explaining to the Geelong players as such. Simopoulos, Laban. Correction, it is actually, got my brothers mixed up here. I thought I saw a 5 coming off on the substitution board. We'll get back to that in the meantime as Bellows in-swinging shot collected by McDowell before it could go out for a corner ball. I said we had a Leno for a Leno, but I think I was sold a hope and a dream by the fourth officials board. We've got 2 Lenos on the field, on the left flank, Franco and Jackson, in left wing and left back respectively. So it was Binyam Kibede who came off the field, number 9 as opposed to number 5.
I think that was the fourth official.
Stojanovic's header, it was never gonna get on target from that position, was it?
Fourth official sold you something wrong.
Well, I'm gonna hold my hand up. I was not looking at the players coming on and off the field. I was purely looking at the fourth officials board, and I thought I saw the number 5, but I guess with the weird grid system that the fourth official board has, sometimes that can look like 9.
That is true,
So
and also
that's probably me apologising for myself.
lucky the sun is also shining quite brightly. You know,
That is
it's
true.
Tough.
That is true.
We can't all get it right every time.
But if you're still with us, as Tony Dymowski is, and Tony Johns as well, as we enter into stoppage time here at Epping Stadium. It's 2-0 in favour of Melbourne Victory. Nice play through the middle. Varol. Stoyanovski. Thwarted by Laban initially, but now he can wheel away. Cross for Talevski. It's been the key route to goal. In spaces few and far between for Geelong, but he won't have a chance to test Siciliano on this occasion. Lino. For Lethlean. Oh, Barnett has missed it. It's a poor ball through from Bradley Varale. Talevski will give chase, but to no avail. Bello. Bit too much of it shown to Liam O'Connell. Butler. Short for Talevski. Decent looking delivery. Stojanovic was flicking the neck muscles out at it. And the Victory defender was able to meet it first. Varol. Mitsuda. Ooh. Massive collection in the midfield. I don't think that was the player who was meaning to collect the Victory challenger on that occasion, but Mitsuda was also felled as he slid through, and so Geelong will get a stoppage time free kick. Although I can see on the broadcast side here that quite a few of their fans are filtering out and getting ready to head for the exits regardless. They may get something here though on the second effort. Franco Lino away only as far as Matthew Townley. Brauweiler deflecting off Jay Barnett, and Brauweiler will seize back upon the ball, and now the shot. Oh, Siciliano was a mile off his line there. And that's the last action of the game.
Just before we go, that man has been a star. I'm just saying, very theatrical. He's always looking very calm, even in the most dangerous situations.
Well, it ends here at Epping Stadium. A 2-0 win for Melbourne Victory on the live ladder. They claim a spot in the top two ahead of the Preston Lions, who we believe are still deadlocked at 0-0 against Ballarat City. So Victory's unbeaten run in the competition does stretch out to 9 games, but they didn't have it all their own way in this game. They were up against it at the start of the second 45. Christian Siciliano having to make a few good saves before a penalty kick awarded after the infringement on Alex Menelau allowed Binyam Kabede to break his goal-scoring duck, and Victories to give them a 1-0 lead before Artem Duratovic poked into an empty net in a goal line scramble that allowed them to pretty much put the result beyond reasonable doubt. Pakua Frimpong, it was a close battle, even though Victory will feel like they've controlled it with a 2-0 win, a clean sheet. Your thoughts at the final whistle before we head off?
I think that Geelong showed some really promising signs in the first half, but once they made Victory made those substitutions at half time, they seemed to control that midfield battle, and once they scored that penalty, it was just kind of a little bit of a routine, and Geelong really struggled to create other opportunities to score and put Victory's defence under any real pressure. So I think Victory deserved the win for their second half performance, but not all doom and gloom for Geelong. There were some positives to take out of it in the first half.
Absolutely. Well, Victory will try and make it 10 games without recording a loss in the competition next week, and I dare say that they are a good chance to do it as they come up against Nunawading City at Mahoney's Reserve Saturday 3 p.m, the next fixture for them. Meanwhile, for Geelong, their 3-match stretch of consecutive wins has now come to an end, so a chance to get back on the winners list next week, Saturday at 6 p.m, when they take on another one of the academy sides here in the NPL 3, coming up against Western United over in Geelong. But here at Epping Stadium, it's finished Melbourne Victory 2, Geelong Soccer Club 0. That is where we'll leave you for the final time. We hope you've enjoyed our live coverage here on FNR Football Nation Radio, brought to you by DKP & Co Chartered Accountants. But for the final time today, from Lockie Flanagan and from Pakua Frimpong for FNR Football Nation Radio and for Melbourne Victory, it's a farewell to you, and enjoy your Saturday evening. And for those Victory fans who are still watching on, enjoy the second leg of your semi-final, kicking off very, very shortly in an hour and 15 minutes time. But yeah, we'll see you again for Victory's next home game very soon here on